troubled.
Before leaving, I met Catherine Molsberg. She's in shock, as was reasonable to expect. She didn't even see her son, Alice. They ripped him away from her, took him who knows where.
That's why we're here. I must admit the lead we have is very peculiar, but...
About that, explain where you are dragging me again.
My research led me to a certain Giuseppe Balsamo, who some identify as Count Cagliostro, one of the most famous alchemists of all time, or one of the most notorious crooks, according to others.
To think, I've been dragging this bomb bottle around with me for days. What do we know about this Cagliostro?
Little or nothing. We don't know the date of his birth, we don't know precisely where he was born. Some even doubt he was really Giuseppe Balsamo. The only certain bit of information I found is about his death. Cagliostro spent the last years of his life in San Leo, in the Emilia-Romagna region.
Basically, we're about to land in Italy to track down a man that presumably died 2 centuries ago.
Presumably?
And what about the professor you need to talk to in Rome?
Lamberto Visconti, a cultural anthropologist of international fame specializing in the occult. If there's anyone able to help us reveal the mystery of the mirror found on the Cittadella, it's him.
We're about to begin the landing procedure. Please fasten your seatbelt.
Well, that's that it seems. We've come to the parting of our ways.
Lars, don't give up. We'll find that baby.
Eric.
What?
Catherine told me before we said goodbye. Find my Eric. And yes, we will find him. Wow. I was immediately enveloped by the medieval atmosphere of San Leo. Great men once trod those cobblestone roads and admired the sights. Among them was Count Cagliostro. I'd stored a piece of the old tire I'd repaired with Wheelo's chewing gum. It felt like years ago. The bartender looked like he wanted to spend the day idling there, chewing a wooden stick. What a bad assortment of rabble. The fountain was full of crystal clear water, adorned with fresh flowers. They really knew how to make those kinds of things special in Italy. He was speaking German, so I didn't understand anything at all. Excuse me, are you a tour guide?
No, I sell encyclopedias.
My question was rhetorical.
I'm just joking. What do you need? Hello? Anybody home?
Oh, sorry. I was completely taken by your tie.
Thanks. Your scarf's not bad either.
I was wondering if you could give me a bit of information about the place.
I'm sorry. I've been booked for a week by this tourist group, but you know what? Try the library. Gaia should be able to help in one way or another.
That building with the glass door?
Exactly. Take care, and enjoy San Leo.
Well, it wasn't comfortably delivered to my home, but at least I could keep up to date even during my stay in San Leo. The foreign news reported a disastrous disinfestation in Miami, where the local palm trees seemed to be in danger as a result of some red insects. Oh. Ads of various kinds, missing pets, dental practice, tours of San Leo aboard a helicopter. An old-style device with rotary composition, Fascinating, but a bit uncomfortable to use. We had a similar one at home. My grandma kept talking to the receiver as if it were a microphone, and we made fun of her. Then what happened to Dad made all the laughter go away. Hi,
Good morning.
are you in charge of this place?
Are you surprised because I'm a woman?
You don't exactly reflect the stereotypical librarian I had in mind.
Youth is an illness from which you soon get well.
Sorry?
I mean, I'm not as young as you may think.
Come on, how old could you be? 30? 35?
I'm 28. Thanks a lot. You're a tourist, right? The American accent is unmistakable.
I was born in Italy, but I've lived in Florida for years. Miami, to be precise.
You don't say. That must be fabulous.
You bet your books. I'm Lazarus Bundy.
I'm Gaia.
I'm interested in getting some information about San Leo.
Of course. We have information brochures for tourists.
It seems like good stuff. I'll look into it. And if I were interested in more unusual topics.
You're referring to alchemy, right? I'm afraid I'm not the best person to help you. I prefer to stay grounded, unlike Olive, who does nothing but chase certain ghosts.
Who's Olive?
Oh, just a friend of mine with his head permanently in the clouds.
Take care, Gaia. On the first page, there was only an evocative panoramic photo. Wow. Medieval towers, ancient prehistoric monuments, bloody clashes. Good stuff. That tower seemed impressive. The Fortress of San Leo. The brochure claimed that Count Cagliostro spent his final days there. It might be a good starting point. Luckily, it was just around the corner, a short ride away. The man was distinguished and elegant. I would have never imagined what was hiding behind that facade. Hey, old sport. How's it going?
Beg your pardon?
Oh, sorry, Father. I didn't see your collar.
Wait, your name's eluding me.
Well, I really don't see how you could.
No, I can do this. I'm sure it starts with an S. Simone, Samuele, Saverio. You're definitely Saverio.
I'm Lazarus Bundy, and I just got into town, Father. Yes, well, I was waiting for you to tell me your name.
Didn't I introduce myself? Where is my head today?
I was clearly in front of a chronic senile.
I'm Father Carlo.
Is it an interesting read?
Which one?
I was talking about the book you're holding.
Oh, this. Refreshing, I'd say. It's a historiography of our fortress. Did you know it was right here that Berengar II of Italy barricaded himself in with his sons to escape the fury of Otto the Great? And he continued to resist here until he was arrested and exiled to Bamberg.
Maybe I underestimated the historical importance of San Leo. If I ask you for information about Count Cagliostro, the priest looked at me as if my phone started to ring during Sunday Mass.
Count Cagliostro was a godless man who was unable to repent of his own sins to his dying breath.
Hey, calm down. I was just curious.
People like that are best forgotten.
Goodbye, Father. Is he always so absent-minded?
Today is actually better than usual.
Astonishing. Majestic, the fortress towered over the surrounding hills. That was the place where Cagliostro met his demise. The luxuriant nature, the sun high in the sky, all those shades of green. Everything conveyed a deep sense of peace. Fortress of San Leo was huge, and it emanated a centuries-old charm. Damn, work in progress.
I'm afraid so. Unfortunately, we're renovating part of the fortress, and this is the only area open to the public at the moment.
Listen, Luca, I've come so far to visit this place, and
How do you know my name?
it's written on your badge.
Oh, well, anyway, I'm sorry, but even if I let you pass, you won't find much nowadays. You'll have to make do with this room.
I'll take a look around then. The chainmail was formed from tiny little metallic rings, woven together with great skill. The panel stated that the structure would be closed to the public indefinitely. What followed was very interesting. Some of the artifacts have been temporarily moved to a nearby building, Castle Sancti Leonis. Excuse me.
Yes?
That sign says some of the artifacts from the fortress were moved to another building.
Yes, Castle Sancte Leonis. The Marquis de Vilta, its owner, has agreed to host some of the finds from the fortress there during its period of renovation.
Good to know. Do you know where I could find him?
By now, he will surely be in Dante Alighieri Square. He's a creature of habit and spends half of his days reading the newspaper sitting at Oliviero's bar. You won't have any problems finding him. He's a very little man.
I must thank you. Your contribution will help me save a newborn in danger.
This guy's crazy.
The glass was translucent, and it didn't let me see how deep the well was. Ancient vases, elegant daggers, decorated figurines. When this story started, I'd have never imagined it would have ended up walking around museums. That panel was a reminder of the forced stay of Felice Orsini, the man responsible for the attack perpetrated against Napoleon III of France. The emperor survived, but the 3 bombs thrown at his carriage caused real carnage. Ancient medieval coats of arms, adorned by their relative names and chivalric mottos. The description matched the one the fortress attendant gave me. That had to be the Marquis de Vilta. Good morning. Are you the Marquis de Vilta?
Who are you? And who told you who I am?
My name's Lazarus Bundy. I arrived here a few hours ago. I've just been to the San Leo fortress, but found it closed for renovations. There was a very friendly attendant, though, who told me about you and of the castle, Santo Leonidum?
Sancte Leonis, the castle of St. Leo, which my family renamed as such in honor of the local saint.
Exactly what I just said. Would it be possible to access the building to take a look at the findings?
The castle is private property, and if I agreed to store a few ancient artifacts there, it is only because Walter Baringla, the director I hired to look after the building, insisted. Certainly not to set up a museum for American tourists. Bah.
Listen, I just got here from Florida and
you should have better informed yourself before leaving. I'm very attached to that building, and the very few trusted people I let enter are in possession of a specific permit signed by me.
A permit, huh? You spoke of a permit. Do I have any shot at getting one?
You'd have a better chance of speeding past my vintage vehicle on that scrap heap of yours, young man.
Hey, don't insult my green dart. I had met my share of bloated windbags, but this one threatened to explode at any moment. I would get that permit, and I would sign it myself. His home was the most likely place to look for one. I absolutely had to get his address. Tell me about San Leo.
What do you take me for, a tour guide? Go bother someone else, for heaven's sake.
Trying to drag information out of that man felt like a salmon trying to swim upstream. I really need to go.
I'll bear this pain with stoicism.
Hey! Hey, mister!
Huh? Are you talking to me?
Of course I'm talking to you. Come here a second, please. Look, pal, would you do me a favor? I dropped my pendant, and to get it, I need to go around the building or climb over. Could you maybe...
Why not? Here you are.
Very kind. Mr...
Bundy. Lazarus Bundy.
Lazaro? Like in the Holy Bible?
There's a story behind that, actually.
I'm Oliviero, the second best bartender in the world. Welcome to San Leo. What brings you here?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to disconnect from work and take a long trip through Europe.
I understand. but I've seen you asking a lot of questions around here for a tourist.
Occupational hazard?
Mm-hmm. Why? What's your job?
I decided not to show my cards to a perfect stranger. Operator for a statistical agency.
Exciting, to say the least. Well, Lazaro, if you need anything, just ask. I have everything you might need.
I didn't much like his attitude. He seemed harmless, although, wasn't that quite the interrogation he'd just given me? What do you sell exactly?
Purely basic necessities. Milk, tobacco, and alcohol.
Tobacco and alcohol are basic necessities?
Are you kidding? Most people would sell their grannies for a carton of cigarettes.
I know what you mean. Until recently, I smoked 2 packs a day.
Wow! We're in the presence of one of the select few who managed to quit.
Too late, though. The problem with smoking is that you don't realize how it's hurting you until someone else, generally in a white coat, shoves it in your face. Why did you say you're the second best bartender in the world?
Rumor has it that the best of all lives in Rome. A true legend. It seems he scattered members of his family around the world, destined to become his heirs.
Well, if you're such a good bartender, then maybe you're one of them.
Hey, you're right.
What can you tell me about San Leo?
San Leo is a small town. I think close to 3,000 people or so. There's a lot of history here, and we certainly don't lack tourism. And yet...
I bet you dream about the big cities of the world.
Spot on. It's just that I didn't imagine ending up behind a bar counter after my PhD in chemistry. I believe I deserve something more out of life.
Oliviero reminded me of myself in many ways. I left Italy with the same spirit, when searching for something that turned out to be just a fleeting moment of glory. Do you know the Marquis de Vilta?
Who doesn't know that arrogant ass?
For reasons I'm not going to explain, I need to reach his home, but I don't know the address.
Oh, sorry, but I'd prefer to stay out of it. I don't want to get into trouble with him. He's too influential a person. Besides which, to tell you the truth, I don't exactly know where his mansion is. Out of town, anyway.
I get it. Do you chew that piece of wood all day?
A piece of wood? I've heard it all now. This is a licorice root.
You still look like a goat to me. Have you ever requested a permit for Castle Sancto Leonida?
Castle Sancti Leonis. I tried once, yes. I wanted to organize a private tour for me and a companion. That little guy, though, allows entry only to a close circle of friends, and apparently I'm not part of it. But then again, I'm just a bartender.
What happened to the form?
I made a great paper plane out of it that earned me the current record here in San Leo.
See you later. It was the Marquis' car, and I must say it reminded me of its owner, small and roundish. The vintage car was well preserved, but judging by the patch of gasoline on the ground, it must have had a leak. The gas would unstick the chewing gum, but I liked it that way. Hi. Let's talk about Castle Pactileone.
Castle Sancti Leonis. It's a great building, ancient and fascinating. Unfortunately, for a while now, the Marquis has stopped issuing permits to visit it, which is strange, because until a few months ago, he was more than happy to show off his family's holdings.
Have you ever tried asking for a permit?
No, but it seems he's particularly reluctant to grant them.
What can you tell me about the Marquis de Vilta?
Why the interest?
We just had a little spat, and I'd like to know who I'm dealing with.
I admit he's not the most sociable person in the neighborhood, but at least he actively participates in municipal life. He's given numerous grants to the library, among other things, and he's a fervent reader.
I must have genuinely misjudged him. Now I feel guilty. Do you know his address? I'd like to deliver him a gift to make up for it.
The Marquis is registered here, but we don't require an address for membership. We just ask for phone numbers in case someone forgets to return a borrowed book.
That could be a good start.
I'm sorry, but our privacy policy forbids me from providing personal details to strangers, if you're thinking of asking me for it.
Come on. Who's ever going to know?
I don't mean to intrude on your discussion, but I couldn't help but overhear. Clara is bound to respect her duties, especially the obligation of confidentiality.
Gaia, not Clara. And don't worry, I had no intention of ignoring my responsibilities.
This is a full-scale coalition against me. I have an insane desire to read.
To borrow a book, you need a card, which unfortunately I can only issue to residents.
But I really have a great desire to read.
You're strange, Lazarus. You make me laugh. Try to swing by City Hall. Maybe they could issue you a tourist permit.
I doubted it. Plus, I'd have exposed myself too much. So to borrow a book...
You need a library card. Unfortunately, I have strict regulations about that. I can only issue cards to residents.
Take care, Gaia. Father Carlo?
Yes?
Tell me something about Castle Sancti Leonini.
I think it's Castle Facti Leonidi.
No, wait. Maybe it's Castle Sanctum Lapini.
Or Castle Fant Leprini?
Come on, you two. It's Castle Sancti Leonis.
Whatever. At least we got close. I withdraw my question. Have you got a library card?
Sure. Here, go ahead and take it.
But are you giving it to me without even asking for it?
Isn't it written, "Better is a dish of vegetables where love is, than a fattened ox served with hatred"?
I started to ponder the parable of Father Carlo, trying to make sense of that enigmatic verse. Perhaps the man standing in front of me possessed a well-concealed wisdom? Okay, probably not. You must know many of the faithful in your church.
As does any parish priest worthy of such a name.
Good. The man I'm looking for is named De Vilta. He's short, slightly overweight, wears glasses. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, of course.
Oh, perfect. Do you know his home address?
I'd really love to help, but, well...
You don't remember it.
I'm sorry. Lately my mind is distracted with the organisation of Christmas.
Christmas? It's the beginning of November.
Are you serious?
Goodbye, Father. I would use the nail to unstick that photo from the badge. A few seconds soaking in the gas would turn the chewing gum back to its original state. Hey, Gaia? Here's my card.
So you got proof of residence in the last 5 minutes, and you also managed to procure a membership card without me officially issuing it. Moreover, a new card on which you appear to be born in 1963. You don't show your age at all. Congratulations.
Well, apart from that, everything's in order, right?
I've never seen such a clumsy attempt to borrow a book. I'll turn a blind eye just this one time. Is there something you want to consult?
I hadn't read a book for at least 6 years. And on top of that, it was the installation manual for the air conditioner. I floundered about, looking for a title that might at least sound plausible. What the Government Kept from Us, by Wilo Wee.
Wilo Wee?
Sure, the much-talked-about Vietnamese writer who was the best-selling smash the last few years. Don't tell me you've never heard of him.
I admit I haven't. I'll have to search in the new arrivals section. It might take a while.
I'm in no hurry.
I'll be back soon. I'm really sorry, but there's no trace of that book.
Maybe it's too recent. Don't worry, I'll think of something else. Aesthetically, it was very ugly, but contained a useful tracker inside. By attaching the bracelet around the car's muffler, Alice would be able to follow its every move. Done. The Marquis was totally absorbed in his reading and didn't notice anything. There was nothing else to do besides send him home now. I was clearly getting worse by the minute, but I couldn't give up before finding that child. I had to resist. The universal remote control for my original pony. The best of the worst. Just having to talk to him in person from time to time was enough. Besides, my phone calls with Wheeler lasted 20 seconds at most. Then he hung up. Anti-interception measures, he said. I no longer needed to call Burton. I wondered what my mother was doing at that precise moment. It had been years since we last spoke. Anyway, I had other things to worry about. I could do without Alice's help just then. By that time, they were all using those instant messaging programs. Therefore, my message box was constantly empty. There wasn't anything else to do but phone de Vilta and motivate him to return home.
Hello?
Hi, is this the Marquis de Vilta?
I am. Who's speaking?
I'm calling from the local fire station. We've had a report of a fire in your garden.
You're joking, right?
We don't have time for jokes around here. I suggest you hurry back and get to your house as soon as possible.
My lovely house! My paintings!
At that point, it was up to Alice to follow the movements of the Marquis.
Hi, Lars.
Hey there. Have you arrived at the home of Professor Visconti?
Almost.
Great. When you get there, you should give me the current position of the tracking bracelet.
What are you up to with the tech equipment I gave you, Lazarus Bundy?
Let's just say Cagliostro isn't the only nobleman I have to track down. Can you do that quickly?
It shouldn't be any problem. Just give me time to set up an internet connection.
All right. Standing by.